Hello dear learners, from today onwards we will start about the procurement process. We discuss what is the procurement process. In each and every organization have this procurement department. The work of procurement department is to procure the material, services and workers for the fulfillment of the company goals. This department has buy the material like goods and get a third party services and do the works like EPC type of works, engineering work. So today we will discuss the first point of this procurement cycle. It means a purchase requisition. What is the purchase requisition? Who is raised the purchase requisition and why it is needed to raise a purchase requisition? Purchase requisition, it means the organization has needed some goods or service to fulfill their goals. As for an example, if we take a one manufacturing plant which they made a big machines, for that they have require number of small parts, so they needed. For that, they raise a purchase requisition for the various parts and they send to the procurement department. Procurement department men do the contract with the contractors and they will supply their parts to the manufacturing unit. The purchase requisition has raised so many types. It means so before, purchase requisition is raised manually when the technology is not more enough come to us, like the user department, technical department, or whatever department which needed some requirement. They raise a purchase requisition either manually. As an example, they prepare a BOQ. It means bill of quantity. Then they uh, make a technical specification, detailed specification about the product. Otherwise, if they want to buy a third party service, then they will design a scope of work. Then they will release this purchase requisition with appropriate authority according to the DOA, delegation of authority, approved by a organization, and they then after they will send to the procurement department. In this whole thing, it is a manual process. It means it will, after appropriate authority approved, they will send the purchase requisition through mail. And now today's there are so many digital platforms available for the follow the procurement process. This procurement process follows in the various types of ERP softwares like enterprise resource planning software. As I told, like SAP, Oracle, Ariba, Microsoft Digital, and so on. There are number of ERP, enterprise resource planning software is available in market to follow the procurement cycles. Today we will de- in-depth discuss about the what we should review in purchase requisition once we get, so we can get a minimum queries from vendor about the clarification and we execute the contract smoothly. So we will start first point to which need to review in purchase requisition. It is a review user requirement. Sometimes user make what is the mention in BOQ which is not satisfied with technical specification. Sometimes why the procurement department has responsibility to ask the user why you have this needed. If user has their own commitment to I want to buy this material, it is not needed, so procurement department has right to return the PR. There is a foolproof satisfied justification is required from user to use why this material to buy or why this contract to do and what is the beneficial for this organization. If user department is unfulfilled to reply the answer of this question, then procurement department has right to return the PR and ask the justification until they give not justification satisfactorily. The PR is on hold or it can't be processed. Then the other thing is the user department. Then we discuss about the second point is review the specification or SOW. There are sometimes the use as a procurement engineer or procurement executive, you should thoroughly review the whole the technical specification and the scope of work. There are sometimes there is a mismatch in specification in the various points. As an example, suppose if point number one says कि the dimension of this material is this and the same dimension by mistakenly mentioned in point number 7 with different angles, so it is this type of misrepresentation is also there. Also review the scope of work which is appropriately BOQ or not. Always you have to see and keep in mind to review the specification and SOW is in line with the bill of quantity or not. If not, then we will ask the query why this is inline not with query, and if I have not satisfactory specification if this specification is not fulfilled the BOQ or the uh, satisfaction, then we can raise the query to user department to kindly give detailed justification about this query. It can also be happen that the specification has mentioned some schedule date or some deadline which is not correlate with the BOQ. That means, in suppose as for an example, they propose to we need a contract for a 2 years, but whatever quantity they considered in a BOQ, it is for 1 year. So this type of misconception, misrepresentation can be possible by user department. So it is a responsibility to the procurement engineer, procurement executive to review both the scope of work requisitions with the BOQ properly and then they will proceed ahead. There are so many points in the specification, like in first point they in specification they specified any specific make, so we can also question why this specific make only we needed, because there are in every component or every service there are several options available in market, so why we cannot get go through these other options, why only we specific this me. Sometimes also possible to there is a one OEM is only in that product. There are so many things in that they directly deal with OEM. So in that there is it is compulsorily mentioned it is a specific item which comes under a critical category and we need a contract directly from the OEM. So these things review in the purchase requisition properly. Now we move ahead from third point, which is about the budget of PR. Sometimes what is the approximate budget of this, what will be the budget of this requirement approximately. It is a need to know about the user department. It means if the product is of 10 lakh rupees and user department get it is up from 10,000 and they get approval from authority and then sent to the procurement department, it cannot be processed because the appropriate budget of PR is needed, because what is the budget mentioned in PR, which is as per the organization pre-planned financial planning. So there is a most crucial point to review in PR is the budget. If so, there are so many misconceptions in the budget. So, example, suppose we want to buy some machine which is comes of the 10 lakh rupees, and the our user department is raised a PR with the approved budget of 10,000, which cannot be processed by us. We will return the purchase requisition because it is not a appropriate cost to the organization. So there is a at the time of suppose the procurement department process this type of PRs, and when they issue the order to contractor and then organization review meeting, they review the our PR budget for this machine is 10,000 and they will issue the PO of 10 lakh. How this type of misrepresentation can be acceptable? So this type of misconceptualization will not occur during the review meeting. For that, the procurement department should aware about the budget of PR, budget of the product, and if it is not in line with proper or approximate product, then they can return the PR to user and told him to correct the budget. Then we can proceed ahead. Otherwise we are unable to proceed. Budget. So budget, related to the budget, the purchase requisition is needed. So without the appropriate budget, as a procurement department cannot process the purchase requisition. Then we will move ahead from the fourth point, review the release strategy. It is also a crucial point. According to the organization, there are several authorities to the people. It is mentioned in DOA. It means delegation of authority. Every position according to have every different rights to release the strategy, release the PR according to the positions. So we can also review the if this position and this person have only up to this release authority, so how can they release more than this budget? It is also a crucial point as a procurement executive. Sometimes it might be happen. As an example, suppose a manager has a authority to release the PR up to 10,000, and suppose the user department release a PR from 15,000 and the manager has also released that PR, and then they send to the procurement. So procurement department is right to return this PR, and not only the right but it is their duty to return the PR to release the appropriate authority from above the manager. These type of so many misconduct happens in organizations, so it is the carefulness about the procurement department to review the PR properly, so this type of queries will not erupt at the end of the contract or at the review meetings. Further to move ahead, we will discuss the fifth point about the review of this purchase requisition, which is a review of the BOQ UOM quantity. First of all, I clarify that BOQ it means bill of quantity, UOM means unit of measurement and quantity. There are sometimes happen the bill of quantity which is not as per the specifications and SOW. So it is a responsibility to procurement executive to review the BOQ and specification accordingly. Then after they will move ahead from the tender flotation. If after the floating of tender there is some misconception revealed, then it is a huge mistake from the buyer side. So the UOM means unit of measurement. There are also unit of measurement is important thing, because if you want to some service in month and then you in the BOQ there is a mention UOM is in each. So it is not feasible and it is not correlated to the quantity and thus description mentioned in the BOQ. Also, the proper description related to the product is mentioned in the BOQ. There are sometimes some specific the same product description it is not feasible in BOQ. There are detailed the name of BOQ or the name of line item in the BOQ is represent the product or the service, so user as well as contractor or bidder is understand easily.